start standing today. So let's move to the
Hello.
hey, oh, there's your doggy. Oh, you got it muted. Okay. So why don't we start standing today right in the middle of your mat? And we'll do a few little things just to get our backs warmed up. So I'm going to bring my feet together here for a moment. Maybe even get my toes to touch. Feel my weight center through my heels, through the balls of the feet. Good. And reach out through my toes. Good. So now I'm going to begin almost like a little rocking action through my feet forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. And I've placed my hands on my tailbone here. Good. Just to feel myself guide my weight. Good. So now let's take a little pause and feel your weight even in your feet. And then you're going to exhale and just bend the knees just a few times. Waking up. I know it's early. Good. Ya es temprano. And so we're just going to bend and straighten the knees here a few times. Beautiful. So now let's pause down here for a moment and slide your hands to the fronts of your thighs. Manos a los muslos. And then we're going to let your head come down. And then stretch right back up. So estiramos arriba and then abajo. Good. Try that. Dos, tres más, como no. Good. And then from here, let's pause with your spine lifted. And I just want you to sweep the arms at your sides here just a few times. So this is a strength I'm always looking for when I'm having to get low. In the kitchen, moving the Instant Pot or whatever, or picking up big cases of Topo Chico. This strength right here we're working on, very useful. Good, so inhale, take your arms, stretch them out, and now once again, vamos a doblar y estirar las piernas. You're gonna bend and straighten the knees. You can just reflect on for a moment all the heavy things you have to lift in your life. How are we gonna do it better? More consciousness, more strength, more intention. Beautiful. So now let's inhale. Take your arms all the way up, and we're gonna reach lado y lado por las costillas. So you're just reaching side to side through your rib cage. If your hips want to counter you a little bit, como no. Good. And then we're going to pause. And let's just do one full circle towards one side and all the way back up, stretching the sides of your back. Let's go right back the way we came. Haciendo un círculo. Otra vez. Beautiful. So now step your feet just a little bit wider. And then we're going to sweep arms out and pull up. Arms reaching up, brazos afuera. Y ahora a tu lado. Good. Just waking up, continuing to feel. So I want you to think, push through the arms, pull back with your arms. So empujamos y jalamos. Good. Empujamos, jalamos. So you're actually just with your mind getting that muscle tissue in your arms and legs to be a little bit more active. Good. Let's pause down here and we're going to take one elbow, stretch it towards the knee. Good. Coming right back up. Opposite elbow to knee. Good. And up. Stretch and reach. So squeeze your scapula together as you come down. Inhale and exhale. I'm going to keep my elbows bent for now because my shoulders aren't quite ready for anything more. Inhale, stretch, reach the arms up. This time, opposite elbow to knee comes down. Empujamos por los brazos, push through the arms, and then exhale. So remember that action, la acción. Empujamos arriba. So you push up and you pull down. Jalamos abajo, arriba y abajo. Arriba y abajo. Arriba y abajo. arriba, good. You can really also think about pushing your palms, empujamos las palmas. So I would do that instead of interlocking my fingers. Just again, so you make the muscles in your hands do a little bit of this work. Good. Let's inhale, pause now for a moment with your arms up. Create a little sweep. Arms up and then they float down. Good. And then let's reverse that. Beautiful. 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 Now let's step your right foot and your left foot a little bit wide, más ancho. And we're going to pick up your feet now. So feel the muscles in the inner thigh and the outside of the hip. Los músculos de las piernas y las caderas. And the idea is that you're really keeping your head, your shoulders, your ribs, your hips pretty neutral. So those are all pretty neutral. And the leg is just floating up, almost like it would in like Ardha Chandrasana. Good. Exhale, remembering lowering your lower, bajando, más despacio siempre. Good. And then we're going to pause with your 2 feet out for a moment. Exhale, cruzamos. You're going to cross the midline. We come up. Big stretch, find a back bend here. Doblando la columna. And then exhale, estiramos arriba. So you can feel yourself in kind of an X, and then X position. And then arriba, y cruzamos, bueno, el centro del cuerpo. So try this just a few times. Waking it all up. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Excellent. So now let's pause up here for a moment on the way up. And then once again, just create that little side stretch. A couple of times it will feel slightly different with your legs a little bit wider and also with your arms all the way out. Good. So you're hopefully waking up los obliques, your obliques. Good. So now let's take a pause. All the way up, manos detrás de la cabeza, hands behind the head, big stretch, opening your chest. Good. And then we're going to exhale and take your weight forward, stretching, letting your esternón, your sternum rise up. And then exhale, reach one arm up. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Good. Exhale, allow that arm to come down. Stretch, reach, otro lado, stretching up once again. Good. Beautiful. Taking that arm down. Now we're going to lift this arm up and you're going to take it towards your opposite ankle. And let your head and neck relax and let go here. Relajando el cuello, la cabeza, la espalda. Good. And then we're going to look all the way up. Bring 2 hands forward, lift the opposite arm, and then take it toward your pie, to tobillo, toward your ankle. And mano apuesta al tobillo. Good. So now we're going to look up, 2 hands, bring forward, beautiful. Soften the knees, reach your weight back just a little bit. Oh, let the whole back, todo la espalda estira. And then we're going to exhale, bring your arms to the side. Y arriba otra vez. Good. So now let's turn towards, I'm going towards my right foot. And I got my left foot there and back in the floor. Good. So make sure you get your talón, your heel down. And we're going to exhale to create a bend in your front knee as you come forward. And then you're going to exhale, stretch, reach your sternum forward and your arms back. So let's try that a few times. Bending your front knee, stretching, reaching, lifting. And then exhale, taking your arm back. Inhale, stretching, reaching up. Does anybody find, you should have to tell me after class, is it hard sometimes to practice in your own house? Because there's just different kinds of distractions, and it actually requires a different application of your focus. It's nice to not have to sit in traffic, but it is nice sometimes too to be in a space where if you see a crack in the wall, it's not your problem. Inhale, looking up, and exhale, hands here to your hips, your low back for a second. And from here, with a long spine, try this bend and straighten your front knee. Good. So again, still waking up your cadera, still waking up your hips. If you can, letting that back heel plant into the floor. Remember, as the front knee bends, you don't want it to come beyond your heel, your ankle. You want to keep a vertical shin, as I like to say. Good. Espinillas verticales. Good. Let's pause here un ratito, and then we're going to put our hands down, estiramos. You're going to reach all the way towards your ankle. Little Parsvottanasana. You all put some attention in your feet right now. Can you lift your 10 toes? Can you lift up through your ankles? Beautiful, beautiful. Could you raise the arm of the front leg and reach it back behind you? Parivrtta Trikonasana. Good. Inhale, now bend that front knee one more time. Exhale, estiramos arriba. You're going to stretch all the way up and then rotate towards the other side. Good. So we're going to begin here, bending the front knee and letting your arms come up and letting your pelvis move down a little closer to the floor. Good. And remember to establish for yourself that appropriate knee bend with a vertical shin. Espinilla vertical. Good. And then we're going to shift this up a little bit. So you're going to exhale, reach your sternum, esternón adelante, and right back up. So if this is challenging your balance, excellent. What a good way to spend some time this morning. Enfocándonos en el equilibrio, focusing on how you balance, how you create balance as you move. So it always, to me, sort of begins with awareness and connectivity in your feet, right? Are you stretching through the toes? Are you spreading through the balls of the feet and the heels, right? Let's do this one more time. So yeah, we use our movement to help us develop more connection, more awareness in the tissues of our body. Again, what could be a better use of your time? So now I've got my hands on my low back, las manos en la espalda inferior. Estoy doblando y estirando, alargando la rodilla adelante. So I'm bending and stretching my front knee. Good. With a long spine. So now I'm going to pause, put my hands on my thighs, and then estiro. I'm going to stretch forward. Two hands potentially on my ankles. Again, use a block if you need one. And then we're going to work to create length through both legs, through pushing the heels down, lifting the hips up, and estirando, stretching as much as you can fully your two knees. Good. So now that the front arm, the hand of the front arm can reach back behind you, Parivrtta Trikonasana. Good. Otra vez intentando crear equilibrio en el cuerpo. You're still each time working to find where is your equilibrium. ¿Dónde está? Good. Exhale and stretch. Reach yourself all the way up. And now, voila, lísimo. Aquí estamos. You're facing the computer. Let's turn our 10 toes in for a moment and move just a little differently before we come down And do a little externally rotated hips. So now just think your thighs moving back a little, arms floating out. Good, and kind of checking in with your feet, your knees, your ankles. Good, let's pause down here. Stretch once again, la columna arriba. And then vamos a doblar. You're going to round over. Arqueando la columna. Good. Y haciendo redondo. Good. So making your spine round. And then creating a big arch. Pause here with a long back. And now stretch opposite shoulder to knee. This should help you start to feel a big stretch in the inner thigh. Good. Inhale, bring us up. Make sure weight is real light in your hands here. Good. It's just a little bit of an anchor point. And you're stretching now. Hombro opuesto. Good. En la dirección de la rodilla. Inhale. Let's come all the way back up. Good. So now I'm going to turn my right toes out. And again, make as much space between your feet as you need. You know, I'm 5'4", about 3.5 feet is good for me. So you can think about how much space do you need. If you're taller, quizás más. If you're más bajo, más baja, quizás un poco menos. Okay, put your hands on your hips for just a second and feel these bones. So a lot of times the hip will twist here in external rotation. That's not what we want. You want to keep these bones balanced, facing forward, and then the opening happens through the knee joint, so the femur bone actually rotates out. Good, and that allows the knee to rotate out and stay pretty neutral in an externally rotated position. So I just want you to pay attention to that, and then these things still, you know, on the yoga mat, off the yoga mat, continue to be true about joint function and movement. So it's there for you to pay attention to. Good. Let's pause with this knee bent and out. And now I want you to tap your codo abajo and then stretch and reach back. So you're going to tap your codo abajo, stretch and reach back. Tap and come down. Stretch and reach back. Let's do that like 2 more times. Tapping, coming down. Exhale, reaching back. Tap, come down. This time, hold down here for a moment. And I want, you can rest your elbow there, but it can keep that weight light. Take your top arm over your ear. Waking up un poco. Estiramiento, just a big stretch there in the arm. And then let's try this. Take your top hand to your hip and now begin to stretch your bottom leg out, la pierna. Bueno, whatever this is, adelante. Good, and now you're gonna pull your 2 omoplatos, shoulder blades together and take your top arm up. So Trikonasana. Good, so this is deep stretch of your hips, deep engagement of your inner thigh, lengthening of your spine. Highly recommended for el embarazo, for pregnancy. So if you, like me, are pregnant, they say do this. It kind of opens the hips, engages, stretches the obliques. Good. And then let's exhale, push through that foot. Bring yourself back up for a warrior 2. Turn those toes in. Baila, baila, baila. Baila, baila un poco. Come on, you guys. There we go. That's it. That's it. All right, vamos a hacerlo otro lado. So turn those toes out. Good. And we didn't do this on the other side, but sometimes it's a little drill I like to do after I've been standing too long. It's ball of the foot, heel, ball of the foot, heel. And then I want you to check your own hips. So after you've externally rotated, can you now put your hands on your hip bones? Pull the hip bones to face forward, right? And this is all to the best of your body's ability. And then we're gonna begin bending this knee. But the idea is the knee functions way better when it's neutral, right? All four corners of the kneecap facing the same direction when you bend. So whether or not that's bending with parallel legs or externally rotated legs, you want to keep the knee as one thing. So when the kneecap, for example, starts to fall in, you fall into the arch of the foot. All of that pronation has a ripple effect through your whole body. Good. So let's hold down here un ratito and then codo a tu muslo y estiramos otra dirección. Good. So elbow taps down toward your thigh. Good. Beautiful. So waking up your obliques, waking up the side of your body. Good. Inhale and exhale. Good. Inhale and exhale. Good. Can we hold down here for just a moment? And now your top arm over your ear. You guys, everybody, I've been thinking a lot about frozen shoulders lately. Hombros helados, right? And a lot of times I think what makes shoulders freeze is not enough movement for a long time and then doing something really hard, right? So if you keep a light practice of moving your shoulders and keeping that tissue healthy on a daily, regular basis, I think shoulders are a lot less likely to freeze. Okay, una pausa. Take a little pause here. And you're going to let your top hand now come down to your tobillo. And perhaps you can take this arm up. Utthita Hasta Parsvottanasana. Tucking the shoulder blades down the back. Nice long neck. So this is the extended side angle pose. Good. If you want to make it harder, you lower your hips into it more deeply. So it's a deeper lunge essentially. And then from there, you can lengthen your two knees and stretch up into Trikonasana, triangle pose, pose of joy. Good. Long spines, long legs. Eso. Piernas, columnas largas. Good. And then from here, vamos a empujar otra vez por los pies. You're going to push through the feet. This is important. When you push through the feet, the hamstring engages and you don't fall into the kneecap to lift. Turn all those toes in. Bailamos un poco, a little bit of yoga zumba. Good. Yoga pony, yoga de caballo. Good. All right. So now I'm going to step to the back of my mat and start moving my weight out over the mat. So let's try this. Inhale, coming all the way up. And everybody, now that I see this in the computer, that's my baby. It's happening. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, stretch, reach forward. And then take your hands here to the floor. And inhale, nos miramos arriba. And then exhale, you're going to walk your hands out. Let's go. Right, left, right. So here we are in a little plank. So you want to feel your tailbone slightly beneath your shoulder blades. And you're going to exhale and let your hips come up. And then let your hips come down. Inhale, estiramos arriba. You're going to stretch that up and take it down. Good. Inhale up and exhale down. Let's try that one more time. Inhale up, exhale down. Good. So if you like, put your knees down. We won't be here very long. You're just going to wake up your shoulder muscles, wake up your brazos. I call these the 1-inch push-ups. And to me, it's just, again, getting that tissue to really, in a functional way, control the weight of your torso. 2 and 1. Excellent. Lift your hips, stretching right back up. Okay, so now you're going to take your right leg up We're gonna bend this knee, and then if you can, place your right foot behind your right hand, el pie derecho, detrás de la mano derecha, and then you're gonna push your back foot into the floor, come up through a warrior one. Beautiful. So from this warrior one, we've been here today. We are gonna exhale, stretch forward into Parsvakonasana, another straight leg pose. We've been here today. Now that front arm is gonna come back, stretch it back behind you. Beautiful. Get a big twist, Parivrita Trikonasana. Beautiful. 2 hands down. Exhale, bend your front knee. Good. And then exhale, twist towards it. Utthita Asta. Parivrita Parsvakonasana, twisted side angle. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now take those 2 hands down. We're going to go for Parivrita Ardha Chandrasana hoy, porque podemos. We can do it. So now put your weight in your front foot. Walk your 2 hands out. Stretch and lift the back leg up. And then exhale, that top arm lifts in this twist también. Okay. Okay, so give this just a few breaths, lengthening, lengthening through your back, through the leg. Look at all those legs flotando en el aire. Good, take your top hand down. Now stretch and lift into a standing split. Good. And then if you like from your standing split, come back to standing on one leg. Woohoo! And now you're on the other side of your mat. And we're gonna do that whole sequence on this side. So, ready? ¿Estamos listos? Vamos a hacerlo. ¿Sí? Okay, so arms up, tailbones down, big breath, exhale, come and find a flat back. And you're gonna try this. Melt the top of your head down as you continue to lengthen through the legs. Then we're gonna inhale and look up. Let's walk your hands out. We're gonna go left, right, left. A little pause. Pike the hips. Bring them down 3. Arriba. And bring them down 2. Arriba. And bring them down 1. Good. Knees down. Micro bend your elbows. 10 and 9 and 8. So think of these little lifts, just pumping that blood through your torso. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees up. Lift, lift, lift. Subimos. Now your left leg, la pierna izquierda, arriba, arriba. Bend the knee, doblamos la rodilla, bend the knee. And you can even stretch that kneecap up a little higher. All right, desde aquí, you're going to put that foot detrás de la mano. You're going to put your foot behind your hand. Now push that back foot into the floor. You can even walk this hand up a little bit more if you like. Good, so now hello, warrior one. Exhale, big stretch here. Good, so now let's go ahead. Exhale, you're going to slowly, slowly lower, taking your hands to your manos al tobillo. And we got a little Parsvakonasana action. We're not spending too much time here because we've been here before. All right, top arm, or the brazo, the arm of your front leg, reaches up towards you, up in the air, en el aire. Says Parivrita Trikonasana. Been thinking a lot about Spanish and not very much about Sanskrit these days. Bueno. Entonces, vamos a bajar el brazo. You're going to lower that arm. Oh, yes. Y doblamos la rodilla. So now, when you bend the knee, bring your hips in. Get a nice long back, long spine. And this inner thigh on your back leg lifts up, right? As you push the whole foot, particularly the outside edge of your back foot, pushes into the floor. ¿Sabes? Bueno, abrimos el brazo, open that arm. This is Parivrita Parsvakonasana, top arm over the ear, as best you can. Good, muy bien. Vamos a bajar. You're gonna lower that arm. Okay, ready? Here we go. So make sure your hips facing the same direction or facing the same direction, and you're gonna take your fingertips afuera, and you're gonna lift that back leg up, 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 up. Arriba, arriba, muy arriba. Good. And then from here, top arm, that arm of the front leg, arriba, arriba, Parivrita tree, Parivrita Parsvottanasana. Parivrita Ardha Chandrasana. Oh boy, I'm a rusty thing. All right, exhale. See if you can take weight into that front leg, your left leg, and come to standing. Good. Bailamos, bailamos, bailamos. And sabes, so we are going to do an externally rotated hip sequence. Same thing, just kind of flow through those poses each side. So now this is my right side facing the mat. Ready? ¿Listos? Pulgares arriba. Más o menos. Here we go. Inhale, arms up. And then exhale, take a long forward bend. Muy bien, desde aquí. Inspirando, you're going to inhale. And we stretch, look all the way out. Good, now exhale, let's walk our hands out. And we are going to go left, izquierda, right, derecha, left, izquierda. Good, so this time, we're going to just do 3 of these. From a down dog position, exhale, let your cadera bajar. You're going to lower your hips into an up dog. So here we go. Down dog. E. Up dog. Good. Urdhva Mukha. Adho Mukha. Urdhva Mukha. Adho Mukha. Beautiful. So now try this with your left leg. Subimos. Lift the leg and bend the knee. Good. And now you're going to place that foot behind your left hand in front of you. Perhaps walk it out a little. Turn your back toes to face the long edge of the mat. Spiral. Bring yourself up. Warrior 2. Guerrera 2. Okay, now bend that knee. We've been here before today, so we're not spending too much time. I just want you to feel the flow of this sequence. So now let's stretch and come. Well, actually start with a bent knee, and you're going to come down. Utthita Parsvottanasana. And then this time, like I said, if you want to get deeper in these poses, let your hips come down. Do it with control, because your feet are so connected to the ground. Top arm can stretch over your ear. You can begin to bring that bottom rib cage up. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then desde aquí. So from here, lengthen your knee. Take your hand wherever it is you want to take it. Trikonasana. Triangle pose. Beautiful. Top hand. Mano a tu cadera. You're going to put your hand at your hip. Now soften that front knee. And if you'd like, step your back foot in 2 feet. Good. And then from here, you're going to walk your left hand out 1 foot. Good. And you're going to line up your thumb with your pinky toe. Now, if it feels nice, begin to lift your back leg up in the air. A good solid flex in that foot. Stretching, reaching through. Dos brazos. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then if it feels fantastic, once again, take that practice of coming to standing on 1 leg. Lo que tú quieras. Good. Giramos. You're going to turn it around. Igualar. Vamos a hacer lo otro lado. Those are big sequences, so everybody take a moment. Do a little check-in. How are your fingers? How are your wrists? Los dedos, las manos, las muñecas, your codos, your shoulders. Good. Your neck. All right, let's do it on the other side, and then we'll do other things after that. Inhale. Vamos a estirar arriba. Beautiful. And then exhale, bringing your spine adelante, forward. Now your 2 hands out. This time walk out with your right hand first. We're going to go derecha, izquierda, derecha, izquierda. Good. So now we're going to go down dog. Adho Mukha Shavasana to up dog, Urdhva Mukha. Beautiful. We're going to go down dog, and then we're going to go arriba, arriba, up dog. Beautiful. Última vez, last time. Up, y ahora abajo. Now we're going to lift your right leg. La pierna derecha arriba. Doblamos la rodilla, bend the knee, and lift, lift, lift. Good. Estirando profundamente la cadera. You're really stretching your hip. Y ahora vamos a poner la mano detrás del, so you can put your right foot on the floor behind or outside your right hand. Let's lift up. Warrior two. Good. Again, another opportunity to stretch. Reach your fingers to remember your right knee or whatever knee you've got bent there. That's the one that's bending. Perfect. Good, good. And then let's try this. Let's stretch over this leg. And we've got Utthita Asana, Parsva. If you want, create a little more space between your feet. Take that top arm over your ear if it feels right. Good. And then from here, top hand to your hips, straighten that bottom leg, straighten your bottom knee. Estirando profundamente. Good. And then from here, top arm comes all the way up. Trikonasana. Good. Just big breaths, creating more length. And then from here, top hand to hip, you're going to bend your back knee, walk that foot in, step it in just like 2 feet or so. And then your right hand, mano, you're going to stretch it out. Back behind you, lift your left leg up, la pierna izquierda, arriba. Good. Y el brazo también. And the arm comes up too. And then you can exhale and just fold towards that leg. Bring yourself up. Beautiful. I wanted us to do, there is not time for what I wanted us to do, so we're going to just move on from there. So let's go ahead. Exhale, come down for a moment. And you can place your manta, your blanket, in the center of your mat. And so like I said, we'll do some little exercises to get us ready for a headstand. And again, you don't have to do a headstand today, but do all these little preps, because one day in 1 year from now, you might want to do a headstand, and then you'll be ready because you practiced. So pull your fingers, los dedos entrelazados detrás de la cabeza. So put your interlaced fingers back behind the head. And now pull your scapula junta. So pull your scapula together. And then vamos a abrir y cerrar los brazos. Let's open and close your arms. Good. So hold there now with your elbows closed a lot alongside your temples. Templos? Yo no sé si esto es una palabra en español or no. Bueno, so now from here, exhale, big stretch up. Good. And then you can start, so make sure that surface you are taking your head to is plano, is very flat for your forearms. So take your arms, place them there, and then once again, dedos entrelazados. I'm going to even do this. This will make me the happiest. So with your dedos entrelazados así, with your fingers interlaced, push for a moment. So everybody feel this is your chest collapsing towards the floor. Actively push your chest away from the floor, and then take the top of your head down all the way. Good. And once again, you're really going to push your shoulders and then lift your hips. Vamos a subir. Good. And then lift your hips all the way up over your tailbone. So don't feel like you have to lift anything just yet. But if you want to practice letting one leg come up, Then the other leg come up. Good. And then if it feels safe to bring your weight over your torso and let your two legs lift, you could be here. This could be your headstand practice. Or again, if it feels safe, bring your knees now bent over your hips, sobre la cadera, to feel your quadriceps and your hamstrings. And then from there, lift your two talones, lift your two heels up. Good. Continuing to breathe. Good. Feeling that through the backs of the legs. Deep engagement through your shoulders. Good. And then we're just going to reverse what we did. So bend your knees and slowly, if you can, bring your knees down, down, down. Vamos a bajar las rodillas and feel your weight transfer. Let your feet come down to the floor. And then exhale, send your weight back. Let your head stretch here for a moment. Let the back of the neck begin to release. Good. And then we are going to push through your arms. Curl, take your 10 toes to the floor. Take your weight back. Take opposite hand and elbow and melt out your neck. Good. If it feels nice to kind of turn it side to side. I just want to continue to reiterate, say over and over, the journey of getting there, that really is the pose. The pose is that whole practice of teaching your body what it is. Because now I'm going to fold this blanket over just a little bit. And then, oh my gosh, here's what I'm going to do. And I know John's going to do it too. Bunny hop to your feet. And then everybody just leapfrog around the room for a little bit. Oh, come on, like 5 more. 5 more. You got 5 more. Leapfrogs. All right. So now we're going to work a little bit on, okay, that made my day. Never been happier. We're going to work a little bit on Sarvangasana. So make sure your blanket stack here is such that your head comes to the floor, but your shoulders are on your blanket. And all that does is if you feel back here, it just creates a little assist for your cervical vertebra. So feel and love for a moment your cervical vertebra. We do not do yoga to do them harm. So now if you can, take your hands to the sides of your mat. And I just want you to tuck and squeeze your shoulder blades, los omoplatos juntos. Pull your shoulder blades together with your knees bent. If that feels nice, you can exhale, begin to extend the legs. Hey, just do this if this is the best thing for your neck today, which is Viparita Karani, just lifting your hips up. And now, or lifting your legs, these are actually called legs, piernas. You can take the legs up overhead and take your toes down and your thighs, lift them, and stay here for a moment in Halasana and plow pose. Good. Now, if it's feeling comfortable and good, you can walk your shoulder blades slightly more together. And then from here, perhaps even bring your palms, allow them to connect. Good. Continue to lift the thighs. So stay here if this is the pose of your dreams, or if you'd like to take your knees, bend the knees, and then once again, just like we did in headstand, get the knees to come over the hips, sobre la cadera, and then you can take your 10 toes up in the air, lengthening the backs of the legs, and potentially walk your hands a little bit further down your back. Good. So take deep breaths. You know your neck isn't being strained here. Good. Make sure you feel the hands, if you've walked them down the back, are connecting to your rib cage and not pushing on your kidneys. Good. And then when you feel ready, when you've had enough shoulder stand, we haven't taken the kind of time I like with this. Go ahead, exhale, release. Let the thighs come down. Let your arms release. And then slowly let that weight return to the floor. Put your feet on the floor. And then exhale, lift up through the elbows and take the top of your head down. This is Matsasana, fish pose. Let your top lip stretch over your bottom lip. If you want to make it more about your abdominals, stretch your two legs out. Good. Exhale, release, coming right back down. So now we're going to take Urdhva Dhanurasana. We're going to do a couple little preps to get there. So Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. Push your feet down and lift the pelvis. Let your fingertips reach towards your ankles in la dirección de los tobillos. You can stay here. This is a great pose. Do 5 or 10 breaths. It always makes, this was true with Brahma, that pose just makes the baby dance. All right, and then hands here into your tobillos, to your ankles. And you're gonna exhale, squeeze, pull your scapula together and lift all the way up. Same thing, the baby feels lots of things here. 2 and 1. Now exhale, come all the way back down. Stay in that pose if that is the pose of your dreams, or you take your hands here back behind your shoulders and you push your hands down deep into the floor, and then we lift our hips, and then you lift your ribs, and then if that's all feeling great and supported, then you push your hands down and come onto the top of the head. And then once you feel like you are there and ready for action, then you push your hands and lift your pelvis up. So few big breaths here. This is a good morning. Buenos días, todo el mundo. Muy bien. Let's lower your head, lower your ribs, lower your hips. Exhale, release. Just take a second. Circle your wrist, lo que tú quieras. Whatever you need to do. But we are going to stretch our legs out, open our palms, and take a few breaths together. Let your breaths be full. Invite them to just seal in your work, your asana. Now when you feel ready, you can begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, circulando your wrists, your muñecas, and your tobillos. Good. Stretch your arms all the way up. And draw your knees in over your chest. And let's roll. Rolamos a un lado. Y empujamos arriba. Let's push to a seated position. Y nos ponemos las palmas juntas. Let's put our palms together. Doblamos. Bajando la cabeza. Cerrando los ojos. Your practice is a gift. Tu práctica es un regalo. Muchas gracias. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.